Hi, folks. I'm Sean Crabtree.
And I'm Cameron Bailey.
Welcome into Growth Profits.
Coming to you live each week.
We don't want to change the way you do business.
We want to change the way you're thinking about your business.
We want you to have better results, happier clients, and make more money.
Let's get it started.
And welcome into Double Profits, the show that is all about having you happier clients, better results, making more money, and enjoying the ride. My guest this week, I am so happy to have, seriously, one of the brightest rising stars inside and outside dentistry. Many of you know him from his work with Smiles at Sea, or perhaps Trapped in an Op, or perhaps you've heard him speak in some part of the world, or perhaps his latest venture, Driven Dental Marketing. And there are many more. I'll stop right there. Welcome in, Mr. Elijah Desmond. So happy to have you with us, my friend.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure. It's going to be an exciting chat.
Listen, it is going to be exciting chat, and I get the opportunity to pick one of the greatest minds. I mean, you are I hate to use this word because it's all over social media, serial entrepreneur, but you are truly an entrepreneurial genius. I mean, you have so many things going on at any given one time. I'm really happy to have you here, my friend. Tell me, and by the way, those of you who are listening to this audio, you're missing a really good show because my producer brought in a special background specifically for Elijah Desmond, which is the beach scene. And he's either on the beach, headed to the beach, just got back from the beach, always. So that's just for you, my friend. Elijah, tell us, for those who are listening or watching, I mean, who is Elijah Desmond? How did you get started in this journey? You've been in an op, you've been out of the op, you've been all over the place. Tell us, my friend.
Absolutely. So, well, first off, I'll tell you that I grew up in Ohio on a big farm, and I knew exactly what hard work meant from a labor standpoint.
You knew enough to know that's not where you wanted to be?
I knew I did not. I wanted to put my mind to work.
Right.
Didn't want to put my hands to work, and that leaves me a little overweight, but happy. You know, I tell you what, I was sweating my butt off out baling hay and shoveling cow crap and pig crap out of the barn, and man, I mean, that was life growing up on a farm, and I tell you, it taught me what hard work was. And I just knew for sure that I couldn't do that for the rest of my life. So 15 years old, you know, I was in high school, and I decided that I would test into college, and I got accepted. And that was the blessing. Blessing number one. And it was at that point when I got accepted that my guidance counselor said, Elijah, would you like to talk to the local students and tell the local students, you know, how you got to where you got to, and kind of inspire them to take your same path? And I said, of course. And one thing leads to the next. And before you know it, I'm speaking all over the place as a motivational speaker. And essentially, only thing I'm doing is telling people my story. And I'm a normal guy, you know? And
the world is full of normal people who have performed extraordinary things. And I think you fall into that category, my friend.
Thank you. I mean, I think
15.
Yeah, 15. And
I mean, most 15-year-olds don't even have the desire.
It's crazy because that was 15 years ago, and I have like 15 strands of hair now. I'm looking at this video. Oh my gosh, that's what that'll do. But anyway, so yeah, I started my career as a motivational speaker early on, and the message that I drove home to everybody is like, I'm a normal person. I just chose the right things. I stuck around the right people, and I had the ability to follow through. Follow through is the most difficult thing for many to master. And I've mastered following through.
Yeah.
Meaning that if I am 7 hours jet lagged and I made a commitment to get up at 7 in the morning to have an amazing podcast with the Sean Crabtree. I'm going to follow through on that commitment, no excuses. So I don't have my coffee with me. Hey, Kat, can you bring me some coffee? I don't know if she's heard that or not.
Man, I would love some more too if you could get Sandra to get me some. And by the way, what you just said is true, and I do appreciate that, my friend. I know that you just got back from the EU, and I appreciate it. You and I were talking earlier. I don't know if the jet lag has quite hit you yet, but I appreciate you following through with your commitment.
Absolutely. You know what? It's my pleasure. I went to speak in Manchester, and it was amazing. By the way, I spoke internationally on a ship. However, I haven't truly had a real international speaking gig. So this is my first one. And I get off stage, and I'm not kidding you, within 5 minutes, I have somebody asking me to speak in Dublin, Ireland.
Wow.
In Berlin.
Wow.
And just recently got asked to speak in South Africa. So, I mean, blessings are in the highest form right now, and I'm in a good place. And you know what's insane, Sean, is I actually had a moment about 2.5 years of my career where it was an eye-opening situation for me, and it was everything before then was all about me. I was never a bad person. I always had good intentions, but it was always about me, the next business deal I can get, the next contract I can close. I mean, I was a serial entrepreneur. Matter of fact, I'm finishing the book Serial Entrepreneur, by the way.
Oh, really? See, I just threw that out. I didn't know that. That's great.
Serial Entrepreneur from Startup to Success. I'm literally finishing up as we speak. So anyhow, it was so much about all of these different businesses. Huge pivotal point in my life came about 2.5 years ago, an eye-opener, when I actually did a podcast. This was my very first one. And I told everybody my story, just like I do for the kids, but it was to adults. It was to dentistry. I told everyone my story, and I called it From the Bus Stop to the BMW. And at the end, I said, if you would like any help with getting to that BMW, if you want to do something different within your career, please shoot me an email. I gave my email. It was a huge mistake at the time.
You just got bombarded?
Within 2 weeks, I got bombarded with over 400 emails, and I genuinely wanted to help everyone. However, I just didn't have the time. But I'll tell you that the pivotal part was I decided that I would actually take the time and go and help people. And I call that this time of my career probably the most important. I make an analogy of there's a ladder of life. And the ladder of life is what I was on. And I was looking at the very top. I was looking at all these movie stars, these athletes, these multimillionaires that were at the top of the ladder of the life. And they looked lonely because they were doing all the wrong things. They were getting into drugs. They were committing suicide. They were ending up in jail. There's so many things. And I said, you know what? That doesn't even look good up there. I don't even want to be at the top of the ladder of life. So what I decided to do is reach one hand back, and go and help people. And I helped people starting from that podcast 2.5 years ago that reached out. But I said, you know what? I'm going to help as many people as I possibly can, but I need to do it in the most efficient way. So I'm going to create a Facebook group called Trapped In and Up, standing for Trapped in a Clinical Operatory. And essentially what I would do is that I would go do Facebook Lives. I would post all these motivational quotes. I would teach people how to be a speaker, be a consultant, start your own business, do research, do writing, get into magazines. And it felt really good. So I took that one hand off the ladder of life, reached back to go and help people. It felt good, but I was nervous. I never had done it like that before. It felt so good, I decided to take both hands off the ladder of life and help as many people as I possibly can. And for the past 2.5 years, that is what I've been all about. And I'm going to tell you, the opportunities that came before were very, very difficult. Now that it's all about helping other people, it's the easiest opportunities ever.
Awesome. So you went from, there's the coffee. So you went from essentially, and I think all of us go through something like that. You and I've talked a little bit about my scenario. I call it a point of clarity. I had a hunting accident several years ago that gave me a real point of clarity. And I think I've told that story before, and you and I talked about that. But basically, you're saying that you found yourself in a position going after the success, driving hard, right? And you realize through this point of clarity that, it's probably not about me. It's probably about helping as many people as I can.
Yes, it did come like that. It came in a little bit different fashion than the fact that I wasn't trying to say that. I didn't seek out to say, okay, I'm going to help as many people as I can. It's just that when I reached back with that hand then too, I had this amazing feeling. I didn't go searching for that feeling. I didn't say one day, I'm going to help change the world, or I'm going to go and make this world a better place, or I didn't do that. It came to me, if that makes sense. So I had that feeling come to me, and when it came to me, it was so overwhelming that I decided that's all I want to do is help people. And now I've been on cruise control for the past 2.5 years and just helping as many people as I can. And it's turning around, and it's actually lifting me up higher on that ladder of life. And here's the thing. I have no intention of getting to the top. I never want to be to the top. I only want to help people to proceed past me. But I know this, regardless of where I'm at in that ladder, I'm going to be surrounded around an army of friends and people that I've been able to change their life. And that's what I'm all about now. And I thought I found my why early in life with changing the kids' lives. And that was my why. Well, I didn't find my whole why until recently. And that's with helping others. So now I know I have the ability to change adults' lives and kids' lives. And so now, I'm complete. That's family's good, business is good, my why is there. Only thing that I need to get together, Sean, is I need to get together my health. I see you drinking a jug of water, and I'm like, man, this guy might be able to teach me a few things. I think from the camera, I can see your midline is like this, and mine is like this.
Well, you know what? Here's the bottom line, my friend. You know what? I'm older than you, and I've been where you are. And you're saying, you and I were talking about this the other day. You've got to focus on 2018 to be with your health. Yes. And I think there's a lot to be said for that. I find a lot of your story. I find in my story. I think every opportunity, whether that's a new year, a new point of clarity, or whatever, it's an opportunity to focus on something new. And I've done that for the last 3 or 4 years. I do have a jug of water. My goal is 1.5 to 2 gallons a day. And because you and I were together early this morning, right? Mm-hmm. I had to be back from the gym by 6 a.m. this morning to be here. But you know what? Like you said, it's follow through. I just talked about this the other day. A lot of people are looking for motivation, and not to take away you and I both know motivation is very important, but at the end of the day, discipline is the key. If you're going from motivation to motivation to motivation, and there's no follow through with that discipline, you're never going to be as successful as you can be. Right?
Yes. You are just so spot on in so many ways. So, I don't know if anybody can see this, and I'll tell you about the tattoo here in a minute, but I have a sleeve. My right arm is covered, and I'm so proud of that sleeve. I'll get back to that sleeve in just a second, but there's a quote, and it's a quote that I've said since I've been in high school, and it's motivation and determination without procrastination is the key to success. And so I have that.
That's good, man. Where did you get that?
I made it up. That was me. That was all me. That didn't come from anybody else.
Down, Case.
Go ahead and put that on the plagiarizing you have, and watch my name come up.
dude, we are gonna steal that, but we'll have to give Elijah credit for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you about this. I actually always wanted a sleeve, and the reason why I didn't get it is because I was on stage on a regular basis, and I knew people would judge me. When you look at somebody, you judge them right away. It's human nature. It happens. And I've done my best to not do that along the years once I realized that. But I said, you know what? Once I make it to the point in my career where I feel like I've made an impact and I've made a name for myself, I'm going to get my sleeve, because now it's just coloring on something that somebody already knows, right? So I went and did it. So all my sleep has meaning. And I'll tell you, the chapter 1 of my book is actually called The Number One Risk in Life. And I'll tell you what that is, and it's being yourself. So many people try to tell you, well, if I were you, I would do this, or you shouldn't do this, or you should be this person who you're not. And I've actually decided to stay in my own lane and stay myself. And it's been the best thing that I've ever done. And this was kind of like a final.
Okay, so Elijah, let me ask you about that. See, listen, I totally agree with what you're saying. Do you find you're saying that's the first chapter in your book, the number one risk in life? I'm curious to know. I mean, do you find that do you see a change in that at all?
What do you mean by change?
I mean, I agree. I think so many people are playing it safe on so many levels. Social media obviously has given people a platform to be able to, in ways that there's never, ever even thought of in terms of what's possible. Social media is getting, and of course, everybody now can have a camera and a beach background and all of that kind of thing, and they can say whatever it is that they want to say. But at the end of the day, a lot of people, I think, still are playing it safe, not in terms of, I mean, I don't think this is my view. I don't think people are afraid of offending or being offensive. I think they're just afraid of being themselves. But I'm curious. Do you think that that's changing at all? Do you see a change or no?
I do.
You think that playing it safe is still there in a big way?
No, that's part of what I do is teach people to not stop playing it safe, take risks, and be yourself. And so I do see it changing. From what I can see, especially through social media, I can see a massive change, especially in our profession. And I think I like it. I mean, there's so many different, we can go on for this topic forever. But yes, I do see a change. I see people being able to be themselves more. I see people being able to express themselves more. And social media gives them the ability to do so, because literally social media is like having the ability to be on a front page of a magazine or a radio show every single day.
Every single day. I saw, let me tell you what brought this to well, you brought it to my mind because you talked about your book, but I saw an interview the other day with Dolly Parton. Of course, my business is located here in Tennessee. We are all over the place, as you know, and I travel as much, if not more than you travel, but we're located here south of Nashville. And I saw an interview the other day with a local hero, if not a worldwide hero, Dolly Parton. And Dolly was interviewed about something else, and the interviewer asked her to comment on Donald Trump. And man, she just put the brakes on right there and said, listen, you know what? I'm not going to talk about that at all. I have a fan base that crosses all spectrums, politically, ethnically, racially, everything else. And you can ask me all you want about politics, but she says, here's what I've learned. I've learned that I have an opinion on everything, and it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, I'm an entertainer, and that's what I want to be, and that's all that I want to be. And so I want to know your opinion about this, Elijah, because when I heard that, I thought, in a lot of ways, I really respect that, because she's staying in her lane and she's going after it. But then at the same time, I thought, that's a little bit different than what's happening, I think, in terms of a cultural movement. I think people are I think people are kind of just being themselves and throwing caution to the wind and saying, you know what, if somebody doesn't like me the way I am, then they'll go find somebody they do like. And if they do like me the way I am, then they'll follow me. I don't know. What do you think?
I think that's
pretty deep, man, for early in the morning, by the way.
I know, I had to finish my coffee. What do I think about that, or what she did? Well, I think she did the best thing she could have ever did, because you have to, put it like this, you have to be yourself, but you can't just be reckless, right? Like you can't say things that that are going to offend a whole bunch of people. You can't. It's kind of like one of the things where myself is playing very loud. I love music. I'm obsessed. I have an obsession with music. And I play loud music, and I bring it with me. And the thing is that the me listens to music that shouldn't be played out loud. Some music that shouldn't be played out loud. So I have to tune the me a little bit to play the right music for the right surroundings, if that makes sense.
No, that makes total sense.
So you can totally be you, but you have to be conscious of your surroundings as well. You know?
That's a really good point. So you and I were talking about this the other day. You talked about your sleeve and all. And one of the things that you illustrated this point with, you said, if I'm going to be, sometimes when I'm on stage and I got a mic in my hand, I'm liable to be in a tank top.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And I feel like I've reached that place where, I can be that. Tell me a little bit about that.
Man, it feels so good. Gosh, thanks for, you just gave me you made my morning just from sending me to that feeling. Well, first off, you got to create your own dreams. You have to create your own life. You have to paint your picture of what you want your life to be and just go do it. So that's what I did. It's not normal for somebody to get on stage with the tank top. Well, I created an environment that allows that. So Smiles at Sea.
The beach background.
Yes. Smiles at Sea allows me to go on a cruise with hundreds of dental professionals and just be myself. So I get on stage and I'm introducing these speakers and I have flip-flops on, I have a tank top, and I got a sleeve, and I have board shorts. And I'm having the time of my life. I'm at the front of the stage screaming, "Who's ready to have a good time? DJ, hit the music." And I'm throwing out stuff. And these are your people. These are our people. These are dental professionals. And so, I can get on stage and do that.
That's awesome.
Because I created that. I thought, you know what? I love vacations. I love cruises. I love dentistry. You know what? Let's just put it all together. I'm going to create a world that I'm going to live in. I'm going to build that door. I'm not going to go knock on doors.
Awesome. And it attracts. I mean, at the end of the day, that's why when you're able to be yourself and people are identifying with that, what else is there, my friend?
Yes. You just help people. It's help people. It's crazy, Okay,
so let me jump back to something real quick. You made this decision that, it's probably not about me. When I look up there at some of the people that are already at the place that I may be heading, that maybe that's not where I want to be. Let me reach back. I'm curious. You speak all over the place, and you speak to different groups outside of dentistry, and I think you're kind of moving more toward that, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So one of the things that you talked about a moment ago is follow through. Now, but let me put these two together. You talked about follow through, but you also talked about, you got to create your own picture. And one of the things that we spend a lot of time on is, and I'd love to know your feeling on this. One of the things, what we find, unfortunately, is a lot of dental professionals, maybe when they first get out of school, they have some little picture of what it's going to be like, but they don't have a good idea of, here is where I want to go. This is how long that I would like to be able to spend to get there. Here's ultimately what it is that I want to accomplish. And because they don't have that picture, in my view, because they don't have that picture as clearly spelled out, then what happens is a few years into it, it becomes a job and it becomes a grind. And then it becomes, because what they're doing is not connected to a longer term picture, then all of a sudden everything they're getting up for is what they have to do today. And it becomes task oriented, in my view. So tell me what you think about that. We spend a lot of time there. I think the two are linked. Follow through and creating your own picture. I think the two are linked. How do you see that?
I agree. I'll put it like this. You need to have a roadmap to that big picture, or it's not going to happen. You need to have a plan of attack and a roadmap to that picture. And what you're doing should not be a job. It shouldn't be something you have to force yourself up. Oh my gosh, got to get up for work again. Like
again.
Literally,
Yeah.
when I got up this morning, my daughter woke me up, 3 years old, by the way, I love her to death. For those of you who have kids, I'm sure that you can relate. But anyhow, I got up this morning at 5:30 and I could have went back to sleep. But since I love what I do and I'm excited for what I'm doing and I have a lot to do, I got up with a smile and I was ready to go to work. And I think that that's extremely important to understand, that you have to love what you do. So in dentistry, so let's reel it in, right? This is a dental podcast.
Right.
And in dentistry, if you love dentistry, what type of dentistry do you love? So do you love working with kids? Okay, well, let's then focus on that. Do you love extractions? Well, focus on that. Do you love changing smiles through Invisalign and through ortho? Well, get really, really good on that so you can build an ortho practice and love what you do. Implants, if you love implants and cosmetic dentistry, go take all of the amazing classes that you can, get as good as you can at that, get all of the gadgets that you can, be excited to come to work. And you need a roadmap to get there. And so,
I think what you're saying is absolutely true. And I see the big ball drop in what you're talking about play out every day. I mean, there are social media places out there specifically for dentists. And man, there is a whole lot of not very positive things going on. And for me, I believe that for you to be great at the follow through, it takes discipline. But for me, part of that discipline is connecting what it is that you're getting up to do right now with where it is that you're going long term. And in my view, that's what puts a smile on your face. I'm not going in the day to do fill in the blank. I'm going in the day to serve the purpose of what I've laid out as my roadmap. And for me, I believe that's the key to the follow up and the follow through. I ran into that years ago. You and I were talking about this last week. I took a 12 gauge to the head, and I had never run a marathon in my entire life. I had never. There's some things that I wanted to. There's some things that I thought one day I would like to. Someday that kind of thing. But when I got shot in the head, all of a sudden the reality that there may not be a tomorrow hit pretty hard for me. And so in 12 months, I got my pilot's license, I ran my first marathon, and I did all of this with clients in 4 different time zones. The thing that kept me going was when I'm up at 4 a.m. running, pounding the pavement, it was because of a connection about where it is that I want to go. I believe that's where the discipline comes from. You are a lot smarter than me because you realized this a whole lot younger, and you didn't have to get shot in the head to be able to figure that out. Do you think I'm on the right track?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. And there needs to be something that happens in your life, though, oftentimes to get you on the right track. And that oftentimes comes from an emotion, whether that emotion is happiness or being depressed,
or right.
Or goosebumps. Like I got goosebumps. It was just like a complete overwhelming happiness. Something oftentimes.
I think it comes from listening to guys like Elijah Desmond. No, I'm serious.
Thank you.
I think there is a part of the human brain that can look at Elijah and what he's accomplished and can listen to some of the things that he says and hear this and go, you know what? I could probably do the same thing. You know what? He's right. Maybe I should. Maybe I should ask myself some tough questions today's Wednesday.
Yes, I agree. And I think to give some people an exercise while we're on this topic, I would take out a piece of paper, draw a line down the middle.
This is bonus. This is bonus.
Take out a piece of paper, draw a line directly down the piece of paper, and put dentistry at the top of the paper. And then I want you to go ahead and write what you love and what you loathe.
There you go.
Loathe is going to stand for another word for hate, but we don't want to write down hate. We want to write down loathe. And in dentistry, write the things that you love doing and write the things that you love. So And for an example, something that a dentist may loathe is maybe they loathe injections. They wish they could never have to do another injection in their life. Maybe they loathe
insurance.
Insurance. Oh gosh, how about this amalgam fillings?
Right.
Right. What's another thing they love? They loathe getting up to go to work and starting at 7 a.m. Get an associate, expand your hours, work 1 to 8.
Right.
Anyway, I won't give you the answers to that, but then write what you love. So if you love, say, full mouth rehab, full mouth reconstruction. If you loathe Invisalign, you love changing and moving people's teeth, so the results. Maybe you love the money, so you put money there. In dentistry, you love that it gives you the ability to stay at home with your family. Okay? Maybe you love when you see patients cry tears of happiness.
There you go.
Okay? And so you need to look at this chart and essentially say, okay, injections. How do I do less injections? Okay, well, I find a dental hygienist who can give the injections. Okay, well, let's mark that off. That's the plan. So I need to hire a dental hygienist that can give injections. So I don't have to do that anymore. All right, perfect. Insurance. I loathe insurance. Okay, well, let's get an exit strategy. Let's look at all the numbers and see what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do, and get rid of the ones you're not willing to do.
I love it, man. I mean, this is what you're talking about here with this little exercise is beginning to take control, right, of what you have the ability to control. And that's one of the mantras that we have at the Crabtree Group. You got to take control of the things you have the ability to control. But you know what? Most people never look at what you just ask them to do. They just think that all these things I loathe are what I have to do because that's the hand I was dealt or whatever it is. It's not the case, man. It's not true.
Not true. It's not true. So we don't have time to go over that whole list, but you take that list and you find a map on how to get out of what you loathe and how to get into more of what you love. And that is what's going to make it so you can get out of work every day, get out of bed, and not go to work. You're going to go to your career. You're going to go to what you love. And so you have to put a roadmap on how do I get there. If I want to do more full mouth rehab, you need to take classes. You need to educate yourself. You need to get to the supplies. If you want to do more Invisalign cases, well, you need to take every course. You need to get yourself a mentor that's probably an orthodontist or a very, very highly skilled GP. Find yourself a mentor. If you want to stay at home with your family, do the dentistry that allows you to do that. Make more money. Bring in high value cases.
Now all of a sudden, the things that you're doing are on purpose for where it is that you're trying to go. There's follow through, there's enjoyment, and now you wake up with a smile. That's really good stuff, man. Maybe that's what we should title this. Map it out. That's all kidding aside, man. That is really good stuff. That is really good stuff. Again, the thing I'm so impressed with you, Elijah, is you made a decision at 15 years old, and most guys at 15 years old are not thinking about the rest of their lives. You are exceptional. In every sense of the word, you are exceptional, my friend. Let me ask you this. What's Elijah got going on right now? I know you're moving, or at least that's one of the things that you were talking about earlier. You're moving sort of away from dentistry, right? What's that looking like?
Well, I'm not necessarily moving away from dentistry, but I am moving
in terms of your speaking.
Speaking, yes.
Gotcha.
So what am I doing now? So I am in the process of finalizing my charity called The Ladder of Life for kids, motivational speaking for kids, and then also motivational speaking for adults, and doing missions in third world countries. So that is priority. I'm trying to phase out of dentistry. Last year I was speaking in 10 to 12 cities every month. Now I'm speaking in 3 to 4 cities every month for this year. Next year, my plan is to just speak in about 1 city every month. So anyways, I'm getting out of that. I have a 3-year-old daughter, so I need to stay at home with my daughter.
Yep.
I used to work with a lot of people and do consulting, but I'm going to leave that up to you. So I don't.
There's a marriage there, my friend. I'm seeing a marriage here.
Yes. So what I'm doing now is I'm actually, instead of working with people to grow their practices, dental offices and teams to grow their practices in their office, I'm doing it two ways. The first way is that I'm doing it through team building events, continuing education on cruise ships. So Smiles at Sea.
Smiles at Sea.
That's the first thing. The most fun continuing educational education experience ever on a cruise ship to a vacation. That's a tax write-off that you get 16 hours of CE for, that you hear the best speakers in the world speak at. I'm going to drop the mic right now. Dropping it, taking it, and dropping it. Taking the mic, dropping it. So, anyways, Smiles at Sea. So that's the first thing. We're getting into specialty cruises as well. So we're doing team cruises, and then we're also doing an amazing cruise with Dr. Arun Garg, headed to Cuba, for dentists that want to place implants, or they want to get good at placing implants. Hands-on workshop, Fort Lauderdale, Cuba, in November with Dr. Arun.
Awesome.
And so anyhow, so the cruises is what I'm doing. That's one major thing. The second major thing is since I'm not consulting anymore, I'm bringing happiness to dental offices, and I'm bringing them high-value cases. So I am actually
Driven dental marketing, right?
Yes, it's through Driven Dental Marketing. And all we do specifically is focus on bringing high-value cases, specifically dental implants. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. That is our niche. So we are bringing dental practices between 20 and 50 new dental implant leads every single month.
Wow,
and
that's awesome.
The only thing that we're doing, so we have to be really good at it. And so
tell me a little bit about that. I mean, 20 to 50, specifically high value. I mean, 20 to 50 is a good number across the board, but 20 to 50 with the specifics of what you're talking about, and those are really great results. Tell me what you guys, how do you look at dental marketing, and what do you guys do with Driven Dental Marketing?
Absolutely. Well, first off, we diagnose the office. They have to fit into one of three different buckets. And that's extremely important to understand what bucket that you are. Instead of just haphazardly doing marketing, you understand the type of offices you are, so you can do it the right way. So we'll say in regards to dental implants, there's three different types of buckets. There is the office that is the volume office, high volume. There's a same day office, and then there's the high value office. So the high volume office, typically they have the cheapest dentistry, discounted fees in town. I'm not knocking them. I'm just saying this is a bucket. And they are, oftentimes they're using products that are discounted as well to keep their fees down. They're doing things very fast because they have to, because the cost is so low. And they're doing a lot of really hard work. That's bucket number one.
Okay.
Bucket number two, and by the way, in order to get a dental implant patient into your practice through an ad or advertising, you need an offer. Everybody is driven by offers. 66% of dental patients actually seek an offer, affordable, right? So everybody needs to be offering that. You can't just place an ad that says, we're a great dental team, come see us. They're not going to click.
Right. There's no call to action there.
There's no call to action. So anyways, the second bucket after that volume bucket is the same day dentistry bucket. That means that the patients that come in, there's actually very competitive pricing, but it's not low pricing, but competitive pricing. And you offer them something on that same day. So for an example, what that would look like is a patient comes through, they want to have a total of, we'll just say 8 implants. And for a total of 8 implants, that is going to cost them, we'll just say $30,000. And after the treatment is done, or treatment is recommended to the patient and financial options are recommended, at that point, we want the patient to say yes and start on that same day.
Right.
In order to do that, you typically have to offer them something, because that's a whole lot of money you're asking them to spend. So as a recommendation, if you're that type of office, it's the same day dentistry office, which we see a lot of them, I would simply say something like this. Hello, patient Joe. I am very excited to tell you that we actually have an opening today in our schedule at 3:00. I know it's 1 o'clock right now. You might have to wait a little bit, but I'm going to be able to extend those savings to you if you want to take that spot, because that reservation has canceled if you want to take it today. You may have to wait just a little, but we're going to be able to offer you extend those savings to you. The patient says, well, what is that savings? You could say anywhere from $200 to $500, right? That's reasonable. That's believable. That isn't something that's over the top, like $3,000.
Right.
You're not necessarily discounting your services. You are simply offering extending those savings, so that way that person doesn't have to hog up a chair at a future date. And guess what? All you have to do is—
So wait a minute. So let me ask. So is that, so like when you gave that example, are you like, only because I don't know, are you guys at Driven Dental Marketing, where is your focus? Is it on attracting those patients, or is it on coaching the office with verbiage? Is it both? Where are you with that?
Good question. Our job is one thing and one thing only, and that is bringing them the leads. However, the cool thing about us as a marketing company is we're not marketing for veterinary, LASIK eye surgery,
strictly dentistry.
We're doing dentistry, and I happen to be a dental hygienist, by the way, that doesn't practice that much except when I go on missions, but I'm a hygienist. And my partner's background—
a dental hygienist.
And my partner's wife is a dentist, my business partner with Driven Dental Marketing. So we are very dental specific, and we understand it. So that's why we can talk about this stuff. No, we absolutely do not coach dental teams. That's what you do, Sean. We don't do that. We provide the leads, but I'm just giving you an example of what.
And I appreciate that, and I think that was good. That was good. And so then your third office is the value office, which is different from discount and totally different from same day.
Yes, absolutely. So let me tell you about the value office. Personally, this is my favorite office. However, we work with all three, but it's my favorite. So I'll tell you what it would look like. I'll give you an example. So we'll pretend that I'm the dental assistant, and we'll pretend, Sean, that you're the patient. So I'm going to come into the room and waiting room, bring you back. I'm going to take your x-rays. After I take your x-rays, I'm going to sit you down and I'm going to say, Sean, can you tell me what brings you in today? And you're going to tell me what brings you in. As soon as you're done, I'm going to repeat what you said. So what you told me is that you have a wedding coming up in about 6 months, and you're retired now, and you're really interested in fixing your smile because you feel like you have to have your hand over your mouth on a regular basis, kind of like I have to do my hair. And you are essentially looking to have a better smile. You want your smile back.
You want to boost your confidence.
Yeah. And they say, yes, actually, that's right. All I did was repeat them. They're already very happy because I'm listening to them. Sure. I'm not telling them, I'm listening. And so then that is the point where I bring the value of the dental practice. And I'll say is Sean, just to let you know, we have a dentist with us that we're working with. His name is Dr. Gambrell. He's the one who owns this practice. He's been practicing over 20 years, and he is the best at what he does. And I'll also tell you this. We have an in-house oral surgeon that's board certified. So that way you don't have to go all these places for different treatment. We're going to have it all done here in-house. Now, I'll tell you this. Whenever Dr. Gambrell comes in to talk to you, he's not going to judge you or your pocketbook. He is going to tell you with full transparency all of the options that you have for treatment, everywhere from the fastest and most inexpensive to the top of the line and most expensive treatment. We're going to tell you everything in between. We're not going to judge your pocketbook. Here's another thing that you need to know. We are definitely not a discount office. We are not a discount office. We don't offer discounts. However, we will give you the most value that you will find at everywhere. We'll do the best dentistry. We'll stand behind our work and guarantee it. And you don't have to go anywhere else but here. Here's another thing. We are competitively priced, but we are not underpriced. But we stand firm on what we offer. And something that's also extremely important to understand is that we will never pressure you. You decide when you're ready for treatment. Many other practices, they'll try to pressure you or rush you into treatment. We're not going to do that. We're going to let you go at your time. We're going to educate you and allow you to make an educated decision. So do you have any questions for me? And Sean will be like,
right.
No, I don't have any questions. What will happen then is I will hand you off as a dental assistant. I'll hand you off to the dentist in front of the patient. And I will say, this is Sean. He has been looking for a new smile. He has a wedding coming up in 6 months. I'd let him know that you would give all the options for him.
And now that presentation, the financial part of that is then based on what's most important to Sean, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Now let me ask, so you guys, when you're, and by the way, I mean, that's a great way to look at it. You got 3 different buckets. What you guys do, I understand then, is find out as much as you can to figure out which one of these guys they are. And then you tailor, I assume, the marketing directly toward that, right?
Yes, exactly. Awesome. Yep. We tailor the marketing for what type of bucket that this practice is. And another really cool thing is that we've gotten so good at it, we're actually guaranteeing our results.
Awesome.
And so, and I'll tell you this as well. It's so important whenever looking for like a marketing company. For the marketing company, they should be screening you as well.
That's true.
It should not just be let me just close this deal. That's so important. So we have a flawless reputation, and that's because we don't take on everybody, and we also take on people in the right amount of time. So we have a wait list. Currently our wait list is out to May 1st, if that says anything.
Awesome.
Now I will tell you that the clients that we bring on, the first question that I ask them is this: is your house in order? And
the answer is no most of the time, if they're being honest, but go ahead.
Yes. And because here's the thing, we can provide the leads, but how is the person on your end answering the phone?
That is a huge piece of it.
Huge.
And with a great lead, if it's lost on the phone, if the patient is not properly qualified, then they're walking into the situation under the wrong realization. We spend an enormous amount of time on exactly what it is that you're talking about. I totally agree.
How are you presenting the treatment?
Right.
How
are you presenting the financial?
How are you? Yes. What financial options are you asking the patient? So what am I saying is that there should be a system and a process in line to the offices. They should already have went through or be involved with some sort of practice management or consulting or someone who has helped them to get their processes and their systems down. If you are investing in marketing and you're not investing in processes and systems, you're wasting your money.
That's a great point, my friend.
You're wasting your money. And there's all these people, they say, oh, well, if I put this marketing out to the world, then magic is going to happen and I'm going to get new patients that I'm going to be able to keep. No, you're not. If you have your house in order, yes. So it's so important that your house needs to be in order. Somebody can answer the phone. Somebody can present financial options. And then, and only then, will you have the moment to where you have a feeling of being complete in dentistry. Because let's face it, we go into dentistry not necessarily to pull teeth or to fix teeth. We go into dentistry for that feeling of changing somebody's life. For that patient that comes in like this and they leave like this. And so if you can kind of follow me for just a second, if you can imagine a patient comes into your practice with their hand over their mouth. They accept treatment. When they accept treatment, they are given full mouth reconstruction, right? Because that's what we focus on. Then the patient, you give them a mirror for the very first time. And this happens like clockwork, the same way every time. Here's what happens. They grab the mirror, they look at themselves, they smile really awkwardly because they don't know how to smile. They smile, they look at themselves, they put the mirror down, they put their hand over their mouth, or they put their hand over their face, they start bawling, crying, or teardrops start coming down. They then pick up the mirror again, they smile a little better this time, and they look to you as the person that just changed their life. That is why you're in dentistry. That is the reason why that we're in dentistry. Now, we get to make people feel really good, right? And we are allowing essentially dentists to have that feeling on a regular basis. And since we're giving the dentist the ability to have that feeling, what's happening is they're feeling complete. Now they're changing lives. As a byproduct of that, they're making a lot of money.
Right.
right? These cases aren't cheap. They're $15,000 to $50,000 plus cases. They're making a lot of money. And because they're making a lot of money, they're able to have a better sense of living. So they're able to go to the beach like you're on right now in this background, right? They're able to spend time with their families.
And that is what it's all about, my friend.
That is
At
what
the end of the day, that is what it's all about. What you said, I think, is really important, and it's worth repeating. All of the marketing in the world is not going to get you to the point where you can change lives. The ability to, and we talk about this all the time, if you're paying driven dental marketing or somebody else to bring patients to you, you're paying them to make the phone ring with leads who are qualified, and what happens after that is up to you. And you've got to spend the time and the effort and the energy to make sure that you're asking the right questions on an intake call so that the patient is properly qualified. Otherwise, they're not maximizing what you're bringing to the table, and you could still lose it along the way if you're not being how you need to be before the doctor comes in, or when the presentation is made, or even at the financial. The ability to change lives, in my view, has a whole lot more to do with the heart and the mind that the mouth that you're working on is attached to. And we spend a whole lot of time and energy on that. Elijah, I can't tell you how much fun this has been for me. You are an inspiration in so many ways to so many people who are listening and watching this. I want to switch gears and ask you one last question. In your work that you've done, let's say inside dentistry, what do you see is just one thing, top of your mind, right quick? What is the biggest one thing that you can share that you believe needs to happen in the industry?
The one thing that's the top of the mind is hands down helping as many other dental professionals as you possibly can to achieve their dreams. Helping, mentoring. It's about them. It's not about you.
I think it was Zig Ziglar who said, when getting where you want to go is about helping as many people as you can get where they want to go.
Yes.
And he said it better than I did.
When you get that, things will fall all into place. Help as many people as you can.
There's so many good takeaways from this conversation. Follow through. Give us the quote one more time that you got right here.
No problem. It's motivation and determination without procrastination is the key to success.
And at the end of the day, I would submit that's the crux of where it lives right there. And we're probably all making it way too hard. And if you're listening to this, that's your quote. Take it away and quit making it so darn difficult. You talked about follow through. You talked about creating that picture. And at the end of the day, we talked about how I believe and you believe those two things are connected. Today's the day. You got to stop and figure out who is it, how is it, where is it, when is it that you want to be? And let's start creating purpose for you to be able to go get that, so that the things that you're doing throughout the course of a day are serving where it is that you want to go. Elijah Desmond, it has been an honor, my friend. I appreciate you taking time away. I know you're coming in from the EU. You're headed out tomorrow to Jamaica, and I know you have some big things on the horizon. It has really been a pleasure, my friend. I look forward to talking to you again. Thank you for being with us.
Yes, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
This has been Dental Profits, where it is all about you having happier clients, better results, making more money, and enjoying the ride. I'll see you next week. Take care.
Take care.